Hi everyone. I've been a bit busy over the last couple of days because Dee from Betsy Doodle sort of threw me in at the deep end and summonsed me to some salad spinner art, which I'd never tried before, and didn't have a salad spinner either because I'd taken mine to the charity shop about a year ago. But because she told me I had to do it, I had to go and order one. So I ordered this one from Asda. Mine's not quite the same as yours, Dee. I think it sort of slopes more down to the bottom, but this is what I've come up with. This was my first try at salad spinning, and although I got some pretty patterns, I didn't get sort of the lines like Dee did. I'll leave a link to Dee's video as well because she came up with some fabulous prints. She tried it twice, and I think the second one she'd really cracked it. But what I found was that I cut the way that, let me just show you, the way that I cut my paper was I grabbed my Memento ink pad and I stamped around the bottom, and then I stamped it on a piece of card, and I found that I could get 2 circles on each piece of a card, and so I cut them out. This one was slightly larger. I used a side plate for this one here, but I found that my paper kept slipping up the salad spinner and just wouldn't lay flat. So when I went to pick Sam up from the rowing club last night, I sort of explained the problem I was having, and he said, well, why don't you glue it down with a piece of blue tack, Mum? Simple. Why didn't I think of that? But so all of the other ones that I did, I've used the blue tack, and that worked much better. Dee didn't seem to have that problem, and the only thing I can think of is that hers isn't as rounded as mine, or is I don't know. I really don't know. But anyway, we got home and Sam said, oh, let me have a go. I bet I can do it. I bet I can do it. And first attempt, that was his. So that's mine, and that's Sam's. Now, Sam used a lot more paint than I did. I've just watched the video back, and he used loads and loads of paint, and that was another one that Sam did. And I really like the red that he added at the end. So after he'd gone, I started playing again, and these are some of the prints that I ended up with. That was another one where without the blue tack that I tried again today. But I've just got some really, really pretty pieces of paper. I just love these. I mean, look at that one. That one's just gorgeous. And I found that I got different results depending on how much paint I added. I'd watered some of it down as well. I sort of bought some of these cheap shot glasses on the way to pick Sam up last night. I called in at Home Bargains on the way. These were 69p for a pack of, I've lost them, I don't know, I think there were probably about 50 or something in the pack, but they were perfect. So I just put a little bit of paint in the bottom and then added an equal amount of water. If I was to do it again, I'd add slightly less water. But it worked really well, and some of these were done where I dropped the paint on and then sprayed it with a water bottle, but they've all come up really, really different. That one was using the FW acrylic paints, the FW pearlescent paints, and I just dropped it in quite a lot of paint and spun it around. This one here, or these here, were done using my cheap fabric textile sprays. These were a cheap set that I got from The Works here in the UK. It says £4.99. I actually got these on offer. They were 50% off, and then an extra 20%. I ordered them online, and I got quite a few boxes of these. So Dee, I know that you had some of these. You might have used them all up by now, but all I did was I took the top off and I literally splattered using the spray tube. And those are the colours that I used for those. And then all of the acrylic ones, that one's another one done with spray. These are all done with cheap paints. These are paints that I got on the kids section in Hobbycraft, and I think they were £3 for either 4 or 5, and those were the colours that that I used for mine. I love these. So these are just ready mixed paints, but they're absolutely ideal for this. And I mean, I've used these for other projects in the past, and I've still got loads left, but I just literally took the lid off and splattered it all over the paper, and then, you know, went in and sprayed with my salad spinner. I think that one there, I think I'd added some white paint at the end. Some are watered down more than others. This was with some of the other colours that I've got, just blues and greens, but again, the same Hobbycraft cheap ready-made paint. I'd added a bit of silver to this one here, a bit of taupe paint, a tester pot that I got from the scrap store. I added to that one there. That one I've got much more white space. Then this one here, I decided to add a marble, and that didn't work at all because it just lifted it off the blue tack and the paper was sliding all over the place. And then I ended up with you get a puddle of paint at the bottom, and that got all over it, but I do quite like that. So those are my paints that my pages that I've achieved from salad spinning, which I just think are absolutely wonderful. And then let me show you these as well, because you get, as I say, sort of quite a lot of paint that accumulates in the bottom of your salad spinner. And Dee was using a round sponge to stamp hers off, and she was singing a song, I love mud, or we love mud. It was hysterical. I got this tube from the scrap store. I don't know where Dee got hers from, maybe the scrap store as well, because I know she shops there too. But these are some of the prints that I had from the leftover paint. So these are just the paints that have mixed in the bottom. I tried to do this and wash mine out before it got to the mud stage. so I've got pretty colours. But aren't these just lovely? And then some of them, you know, I've gone over twice. I had a purple one and I've gone over it with the green. This one's the mixture of the FW metallics. There's that one there with some of the FW metallics with a purple base. And so those are all my pretty papers, but aren't they scrum? Right, so this is just one of the circles of paper that I cut out using the bottom of the salad spinner. In fact, it was that I used. So I used the bottom here and I stamped it onto my paper. And as I say, I got 2 per page. And then I splattered quite a lot of paint. When I look back at Sam's video, he put loads of paint down, and this is all he did. We just splattered it on like this. So I think in Craft Stamper magazine, they use distress paints. I haven't used distress paints because you need too much paint and it's too expensive. So use your cheap paints for this. And then let me just put my lid on my spinner, wedge my table so that it doesn't shake too much. There we go. Let's see how that's looking, if I can get the lid off. And that's how it looks at the moment. And then I'm going to give it a spray with some water. You can either stop there or you can add more paint. So we'll just go in and add a bit of each of the colours. So as you can see, this is really technical stuff, isn't it? It's very therapeutic. There we go. I mean, isn't that just gorgeous? And let me just lift this out and show you. How pretty is that? And that's it. So that's how I did it. So let me just put that to one side a second to dry. And then, as I say, you've got this beautiful, beautiful pattern left in the bottom. Let me just go and grab a piece. What I did with this was grabbed my sponge and just dipped it in the paint, and I just very randomly just added dots, and I just kept going until the whole of the page was filled, until I ended up with something like that. And I'm going to add some more of this paint to the green ones here, just to add a bit of colour there too, and I'll come back and show you what they look like right at the end. And so here we go. Here's the one that I did. That's dried now, and I just think that well, that's one of my favourite ones. I just love that. And then Sam couldn't resist. He came back in for another try, and he got fed up after 2. That was the one he created, and then he did this one here. This one is a mixture of the FW acrylics in the metallics, and he used some of the sprays. He's used a real mishmash of things there. But the bits and pieces that you saw in the bottom of the basket, I used to go over some of my pages. And then, of course, there was more from when Sam did his too. So let me just show you these. I've just layered the colours on top of each other using my round sponge. And so there we go. Let's just quickly flick through these. And so that's it. So would I do this again? Yes, I would, but I'd do it in one sitting. You know, make the mess, clear it all away. So, you know, it's worth making a whole batch. But I just think, you know, I've got some fantastic pages to use. And as I say, I'll come back on another video where I'll actually do something with some of these. Anyway, let me know what you think. Please give me a thumbs up if you like that. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I will put a link, as I say, to Dee's 2 videos so that you can see how she achieved hers. And take care, everyone. I'll see you all again soon. Bye for now.